in 5 weeks time, I've lost 17.7 pounds.
That is amazing. Hi,
I made,
Amanda.
hi,
So thank you so much for being here.
you're welcome.
So before you found the full body reset, what were you struggling with the most? Like, how were you feeling in your body and, your metabolism, energy?
So I have quite a few things that I was struggling with. First was that I didn't like how I felt in my body. I used to be super skinny and be able to eat whatever I wanted. And then over like the last 7, 8 years, which it actually flew by for me, I just would look at myself in the mirror and be like, I don't recognize myself. And I guess the biggest struggle was trying to figure out how to dress my body because I gained so much weight after having my thyroid removed. And I just thought, well, that's it. Because every year I go to my endo and he's like, well, if you want to do anything about it, just do sit-ups, go do this. But it was like, I just felt very, very dismissed. I'm like, that's not the problem. Like, there is something else going on. Like, I am gaining weight so quickly. And so anyways, yeah, dressing my body was a thing. My body, before I did the reset, I was at the point where my body felt very sluggish and heavy, like walking felt like a chore.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, and just starting to hurt, all over. And then my biggest fear is that I have diabetes that runs in my maternal line. And I remember reading an article a long time ago saying like one of the indicators for diabetes is like when your circumference of your waist is, larger. And I just was looking down. I'm like, well, I can't see my feet anymore.
Oh.
My pants had a C-section scar. So like my clothes were like rolling down. Like there was just things that were just personal for me that I'm like, this is kind of annoying. I feel like it's definitely changed the way that I look at food. I mean, I am being a lot more cognitive of like looking at labels on everything. And, if it doesn't follow a certain guideline, it's like, no, can't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and the other thing too that I also was struggling with is over the summer, actually before that, it was spring. I remember I would eat and I wouldn't feel full. And that was really weird because I was very aware of that. I'm like, why don't I ever feel full? Why am I always like, so I'd eat some more and I'm like, am I going to get full yet? And so like that, how like when you get enough to eat, like you just feel full and you don't want any more, but that turned off for me also.
Wow. It's like your body might have been starving for nutrients. And so, the food, maybe I don't know what you were eating, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, when our liver is like that and our metabolism is slow like that, your body is craving the nutrients and the minerals. And when we're just eating food that is kind of like dead food, it's just your body's still hungry because it's like, okay, I still need, those vitamins and minerals. Where are they?
And that's exactly what was happening is like I would just get something, just to get something because I'm like, well, am I going to feel full now? Is that going to fill me up? Nope, that didn't fill me up. And also I had a really high sugar craving. So I was eating a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have ate because I just really had the sweet tooth. I needed to have the sweets. And I also feel like I also got into like, have you ever heard of people talking about emotional eating?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was getting into a phase where I was doing that too. And since I never like really paid much attention to it, I also had to reflect back and go, why am I eating this? Why? Like I'm not I'm I'm not really hungry.
Right. It's
Why?
absolutely, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. We use food as either emotional support or entertainment. When we have an unhealthy relationship with food. And we have to remember that food wasn't meant to be that. It can be an enjoyable, but it's meant to just be nutrients for our body.
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you decide to try the reset then? Was there like a moment where something clicked? I know you gave some of that answer in your last question, but like you were saying that you didn't recognize yourself and you just felt like you needed to do something.
Yeah. My daughter, you gifted her the program because of the endometriosis and stuff that she'd had. And she had told me that, and you had sent me a message too. And I was so excited. My heart was so like, So
Oh,
warm. I did that. I was like, oh my gosh.
I know.
How
I
sweet.
love Bree, and I'm so sad
Yeah.
about everything she's going through. It just breaks my heart.
Yeah. And so I told her, I'm like, well, if I can afford it, I'll do this with you and for accountability.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it was just good motivation for me. Like, I think I'd kind of given up the idea of it actually being possible to change my system, my body system. And so I just, when I signed up, I was like, well, this is so affordable.
Yeah.
Can I not do this, And then you're available, if I have questions and stuff. So I thought this is a steal, like this is so good. If I can be an example to my daughter, if I can be an example even to my clients, like if there's an actual change, like what better motivation for my clients than to show them something that actually works, that is not like $500 or whatever, something that's more affordable and attainable.
Right.
We live in a very rural area. I have clients that are on the GLP, like they've lost all the weight, but it's sort of loose and they're bony, like you can see their structure,
You
but
know.
there's no firmness and tone to the skin.
Mm.
And also, like, that's an expensive shot.
It's super expensive, and the reason they look like that is because it's designed to make their stomach. It causes paralysis of the stomach, and it should be temporary, but sometimes, unfortunately, it causes permanent stomach paralysis, and so that causes them not to eat. So they're essentially just starving themselves.
Yeah. So there's side effects to that as well.
Yeah.
My son, he did it very, very low dose through the company he works for, and it didn't work anything at
Yeah.
all for him.
My
It
mom
didn't
did
work.
it for 2 years, and it didn't work for her. She got thyroid cancer after that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So now she doesn't have a thyroid, but she's still alive, and I'm grateful, and she's doing the reset. So hopefully she'll get her health back completely.
Yes. Well, one thing I can say is that this is actually working. I was stabilized at 181 with my medication for like the last 3 years with my endo, like clockwork, 181 pounds, didn't gain, didn't lose, whatever. I started, I got myself off the low dose birth control. He had me on the low dose estrogen because of the menopause. And so I decided I want off of that. I don't want to be on anything like from a pharmacy. So I was 182.7.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started the reset. And so I got down to 161, 162, like right after Thanksgiving. But that was like after eating turkey and stuff, I think that was like a 2 pound change within a day. And I'm like, I love that number. So I'm stabilized at 165. And so going back on the fruit and everything, and I'm sure it'll keep going down, but I'm dropping. I just feel like after the Thanksgiving stuff, I think that was just more water.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it's water weight because it's impossible to gain 2 pounds of calories. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So I'm back on 165.
mm-hmm.
And I'm slowly dropping back down. So I'm very, very happy. I have a waist again. I did not have a waist.
Oh,
Um,
your pictures look amazing.
my tummy has dropped a lot. I can see my feet. My C-section scar, I had kind of developed kind of a shelf above from the scar tissue, and
Mm-hmm.
that's starting to subside a little bit. And I haven't worked out. I did one workout on a Monday, but then we got the puppy. So he's with me everywhere I go. So I can't really work out with him
I
around right
know.
now. So just changing what I'm eating, because basically most of the foods on the store have things in it that aren't good.
Most.
That's
It's like so disheartening to read the labels. It's
everything that I read, it's not good.
Yeah.
On everything. And so it's kind of funny because I'm literally staying on the outside of the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to the produce veggie right there, or I'm going to the meats. That's it.
Wow. That's amazing. I know it's so much simpler. It's like it makes life simpler.
I feel like if we could find a balance in finding a substitute for the things that we enjoy and like, but a better alternative to it, like that would be.
Well, yeah, and like other countries, if I've heard of so many people going to other countries from America, and they go there like Italy, Greece, Spain, different countries like that, and they actually lose weight. I have a friend who just came back from Egypt, And she said she's over there eating all the Egyptian cakes and candies and all this stuff she's not really supposed to be eating. And she's losing weight. And then she came back to America to visit her mom. And she has actually gained like 12 pounds in 2 weeks eating healthy. She's eating healthy here, so-called healthy in America, but gaining weight.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. And I mean, they have treats and, pasta and, breads that are, dealing with flour and all the things that supposedly make you fat, but they're not dealing with the glyphosate and the seed oils and, the MSG and all the other chemicals and stuff that's banned in other countries that is here. And we're actually, that's what's happening. It's our fat cells are holding on to the toxins from all the food, and that's what makes you gain weight.
Got it. And then our meat has hormones, and they ship our meat.
Yep.
So to other places.
Yeah.
So.
Man, you could talk forever, I think. Okay. And how much weight have you released so far? And like, what other improvements have you seen in your health since starting?
Let me see. I got to do the math. So I've lost almost 18 pounds.
Wow.
In 5 weeks.
That is amazing.
That was including being able to have like a couple of cheats. I mean, I did cheat once a week for the first couple weeks.
Hey, I'm all about honesty. That's okay.
I had seen where like at the summer fairs and stuff, and I'd seen a chocolate bar that was called Dubai. So I had bought it. And one square. So I started on a Monday. So on Wednesday I had the one square because, I told you I had a high sugar craving. I was like, maybe that'll like satiate me a little bit. The next week I had one square, and then I know it's there. And so I kept like wanting that.
Yeah.
So by the beginning of week 3, I was like, oh, I'm just going to eat it. And I had the 4 squares, and I felt not very good afterwards, but it was gone.
Right, exactly. That's exactly how I am when I'm. I'm just going to get rid of it.
And I was like, oh, I don't feel very good after eating that. I went to bed and I was like, ugh. And I haven't missed it. I have not cheated since then until Thanksgiving. And then, I made my own cranberry sauce that had sugar in it. And I ate everything in moderate portions, and I didn't overeat. And then my husband bought like a pumpkin roll from the Project Prom committee or whatever. And so I had a little bit of that. That's it. I mean, I've been really good. I haven't really had the sugar cravings like I did. So I think this has been really good, full circle, in avoiding all of that. In fact, I'm really looking forward to, I don't go to the doctor very often, but I'm really excited to be able to walk into my endocrinologist appointment in April and be like, 160, 155 pounds.
Yes, exactly.
And all I did was change how I ate. I haven't worked out, mister.
Exactly. And you just have to eat the right foods. It's not about, eat low calorie or eat low carb, or, you just have to eat foods that actually are feeding your body.
Yes.
Okay. So, Amanda, if someone watching this is struggling with their weight, they're inflamed, exhausted, or losing hope, what would you tell them about the full body reset from someone who's lived it?
Yeah, I would say if you're a person that's tried everything else out there, or if you are uncomfortable in any way, this is definitely worth giving it a go, because you still have autonomy in this, but the education is laid out pretty easily to where, as long as you just kind of follow things, you're just changing the way that you're eating. It's a retraining of eating, basically.
I love that.
As long as you're willing, like if you really want to be healthy in a natural way, this is like pretty easy to follow. You do have to have some self-preservation though. You definitely have to be like, okay, well, this isn't the best thing for me, but this is the better choice, and be willing to, make that little sacrifice, but you're not starving yourself. I will just say that I think it's pretty cut and dry. It's pretty simple to follow the guidelines.
Yeah. Okay. And do you would you come, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Especially like where you're just using food and you're not having to keep to like a strict workout regimen and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like this is easy. Now, I'm not an expert in dieting because I've never dieted. I used to be that skinny girl that used to eat whatever I wanted and never gain a pound. I could out eat my husband back in the day.
Wow.
Once I lost my thyroid, my metabolism changed and I got thrown into menopause surgical wise. So, all of a sudden, like, I'd eat and things just kept packing on and packing on. I did not know how to restrict my eating. I did not know how to like retrain myself for portions. I didn't know like what good food was.
Right.
I just knew how I grew up.
Right. Exactly. So this has been, like you said, like an education.
Yeah. I mean, it's not been easy at all the time because, my family's still continuing to eat the things that they want to eat because they can. And I'm having to go, oh, I've got to make myself a soup or eat something a little different. But at the same time, I'm looking at them going, I feel kind of bad for them because, they know not what they do.
I know.
And I know that what I'm eating is actually more beneficial. Now my daughter's like, I just don't know how fruit, isn't messing you up.
I know.
Like,
it's my mother is going through the same thing with her siblings that are like, how you have pre-diabetes, and her numbers are actually getting better. It's the sugar and, it's the sugar and fat combo that is dangerous, not just sugar. So that's what a lot of people have it misconstrued.
Right, because every dessert is sugar and fat combo.
Right. And so the other thing for me, though, that is so worth the exchange of a little bit of sacrifice with what you're eating is the amazing results in such a short period of time. Because I'm not a moderate kind of person. I'm like one way or the other, And so for me, when I would try diets in the past, if I was only losing like 2 pounds a week, I would not stick with it. I'd be like, screw this, back to cake. And so with this, though, because the results are so freaking awesome, it's like 4 to 6 pounds a week now. I mean, in the beginning, it's even more sometimes, but like that is so worth it to me.
Absolutely. Well, in 5 weeks' time, I've lost 17.7 pounds.
That is amazing.
And Cindy's already lost 19, and she's been on it like 4 weeks.
I know.
I think and she used to do carnivore, and she works out every day. She does like PiYo or something.
I know.
So, awesome. I feel like for the person that wants change and everything else seems hard, this is probably the easiest of it all.
Awesome. So you give it a 10 out of 10?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Higher, I would, just because it's actually working. I mean, for the first time in, since I started gaining all this weight, I actually have hope. I actually feel like, man, I have something that I'm doing myself that I can feel proud of, and it's just eating better and in a different way.
I thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing your story. And, it's like you're really helping people realize that healing is possible and that the body can recover.
Yes. I think your reset's going to help a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people don't know about it yet, but I feel like once they do, I feel like this is going to be something that's going to change for the better so many families, so many households.
You've been so gracious, and I appreciate you so much, Amanda.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm glad that you come out with this. This is awesome. I'm just really glad that I was able to see results. I'm like, this is amazing.